Vandeyam Sri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saguna Ragunatambitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Samadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivashkam Vidam Sya Om Ajnana Timaranda Shagana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhishtam Supurakam Gurgalara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Vidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bijapralam Devam Divyatanum Suchanabaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Manitam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nashishwara Shridharam Vanchakopatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamananyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Tavishe Namah. So today is Sri Raghunath Das Goswami's auspicious festival of Chir Doi Mahotsav. That's Chir is what in the rest of India, in northern India they call poha.
Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa Privya Pichara Sila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki.
So, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, they call it like flattened rice, but what it looks more like is like rice flakes, like Wheaties or cornflakes. It's like that, but you soak it in water to make it soft, and then they mix in with yogurt with it. So that's Chir Doi Mahotsav. And today's also the disappearance day of Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj, my good friend. So I'm going to start by reading. This is the last chapter of the First Canto, or the Goloka-khanda, First Canto of Garga Samhita by Sri Garga Muni, with a translation by Kushakratha Prabhu. So this is chapter 20, description of Durvasa Muni's vision of the Maya potency and offering of prayers to Nanda's son. One day Durvasa, the tiger of sages, came to the circle of Braja to seek Lord Krishna Chandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Near Mahavan, in a beautiful place on the Jamuna sandy shore, he saw Lord Krishna. Seeing Lord Hari, a cowherd boy more handsome than Kamadeva, now rolling on the ground as he played at fighting with the other boys, and now running with them, clothed only by the directions, which means he didn't have clothes on, I guess. Clothed only by the directions, and all his limbs dark with dust, the sage became filled with wonder. The sage wondered, why would the supremely opulent personality of Godhead, who controls everything, roll on the ground with some children? This must be a boy who is the son of someone named Nanda. He is not the Sri Krishna who is greater than the greatest. Sri Narada said, as the great sage Durvasa was bewildered in this way, plain Krishna approached and of his own accord sat on the sage's lap. He then left the lap and, gently laughing, speaking some words, and his glance like that of a lion's cub, Krishna again approached. As Krishna laughed, the sage entered Lord Krishna's mouth as he breathed. There the sage saw a great realm where there were no people. Wandering in many forests, he said to himself, where am I? It was as if the great sage was swallowed by a serpent. There he saw the entire universe with its many planets in outer space. While wandering through the continents, he stood on a great white mountaintop. Worshipping the Supreme Lord, he performed austerities for 1 billion years. When the scheduled time for cosmic devastation arrived, the universe became a fearful place. Rushing oceans flooded the earth's surface, and Durvasa could not find an end to all the water. 1,000 yugas passed. Submerged in the water, he had forgotten everything. As he wandered through the water, he saw another universe. He entered that universe and went to the heavenly planets within it. There, at the highest part of the universe, he passed a lifetime as long as Brahma's. He saw an opening and entered it. Meditating on Lord Hari, he went outside the universe. There he saw a great ocean. In that ocean, he saw many millions of universes. Gazing at the ocean, the sage saw the Viraja river. Crossing it, the sage entered the realm of Goloka. Gazing at Vrindavan forest, Govardhan hill, and the Yamuna shore, the sage became happy. He then entered a forest grove that was filled with gopas, gopis, and millions of surabhi cows. There in a circle of light, as splendid as countless millions of suns, on a splendid divine lotus of 100,000 petals, he saw Sri Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of Radha, the King of Goloka and of countless universes. As Sri Krishna was laughing, the sage within his mouth was expelled. The sage gazed at the boy who was Nanda's son, now understanding that Nanda's son Krishna, who with some boys was wandering in a beautiful place on the Yamuna sandy shore near Mahavan, is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, greater than the greatest. Durvasa Muni bowed down to him again and again, and with folded hands spoke to him some words. The sage said, "With all my heart I bow down before Nanda's gently smiling, sweetly graceful, handsome son, whose large eyes are 100-petal lotuses, whose lips are bimba fruit, and whose complexion is splendid as a monsoon cloud. I offer my respectful obeisances to he who decorated with jingling. I offer my respectful obeisances to he who decorated with jingling anklets and ornaments, a belt of 9 jewels, a beautiful necklace, and a string of lion's nails, glorious with dots of black musk, and his glance removing all suffering, plays as a child on the Yamuna shore. Obeisances to you, who are Balaram's companion and Nanda's son, whose bowed head is a lotus flower, and above whose full moon face curly locks of hair glisten like new dark monsoon clouds. Nanda's son happily comes within the vision of a person who rises early and recites these prayers glorifying him. Sri Narada said, Durvasa, the best of sages, bowed down before Lord Krishna and meditating on him and chanting his glories went north to Ashram. Sri Garga Muni said, in this way the great soul, Narad, who was the best of the demigod sages, narrated Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes to intelligent King Bahulashva. O Brahman, I have described to you Lord Krishna's splendid transcendental glories, which wash the sins of Kali Yuga and fulfill the 4 goals of life. What more do you wish to hear? Sri Shaunika said, what did Matila's king Bahulashva next ask the great sage Narada, the peaceful teacher of transcendental knowledge? O sage, whose wealth is austerity, please tell me that. Sri Garga Muni said, the respectful king of Matila bowed down before his teacher Narada and again asked about Lord Krishna's auspicious transcendental pastimes. Sri Bahulashva said, what wonderful activities did Sri Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, then do? O Master, please tell me that. The activities of the Lord's previous incarnations are all auspicious. Still, Lord Krishna's activities are the most pure. Sri Narada said, "Good, good. You have asked about Lord Hari's auspicious pastimes. I will tell you of the glory he showed in Vrindavan." Sri Krishna himself spoke this very wonderful and confidential Goloka-khanda in Goloka's Rasa dance circle. In a forest grove, Lord Krishna gave Sri Radha this Goloka-khanda, which fulfills all desires. Radha imparted it to me, and now I will tell it to you. By reading it, a Brahmin becomes learned in all the scriptures. A powerful Kshatriya becomes king of the world. A Vaishya becomes a master of great wealth. A Shudra becomes released from the bonds of service. And a person who has no desires becomes freed from material bondage, even while living in this world. One who reads it regularly, properly, and with devotion goes to Lord Krishna Chandra's abode of Goloka, which is situated beyond the material world. So that's the end of the first canto of Garga Samhita, Goloka-khanda. The other stories were more or less paralleled of the Krishna book, which Srila Prabhupada wrote, which is from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. But this story about Durvasa Muni isn't there. So, but it was interesting. Srila Govinda Maharaj, he had the Garga Samhita published in Bengali. So I feel inspired to read it.